Back to dignity, that's the call of the day. Where purpose hits different and hope finds its way. Investing in people and helping folks win at life. Turning struggle into power, turning pressure into light.
We've had the call a few times, and they all come out just asking questions. Like they ask questions before any actions taking place. But there's a specific number for that type of thing,
Okay.
and I'll try to leave it in the description, just so people can kind of see it in the description on this podcast.
That'd be great. That's what I like about this. Like you meet people, and though I've been doing this for almost 19 years now, but I'm still learning.
You all are. You kidding? You kidding? I mean, this is like look. the more I talk about this, like I'm learning, obviously, but the more I talk about it with people, the more I learn, obviously. And then I have to do research to figure out, okay, I want to make sure I'm saying it, saying it the right way. Again, I'm not an expert with it.
Mhm.
We're just creating a platform so people can learn from, this platform and how to, how to acknowledge, how to work with those with developmental disabilities, and really all type of disabilities, and just get a better understanding. Because a lot of stuff like this, people don't know how to talk about it, like what to say, how to say it, how to communicate with them, how to interact with them. Do you say hi to them? Do you not say hi? Do you act like they're there? Do you acknowledge them? Like, what do you do when you see somebody with an obvious, disability?
Right.
So we're just trying to, provide some information. Now I kind of want to go back to, you brought up ethnicity, in the public. Now, can you kind of elaborate a little bit more on that?
Yes. Now the first thing I'll address is just with my family.
Yeah. Okay.
And just their views on disabilities.
Okay.
Up until my mom passed away a few months ago, her belief was like, well, he'll grow out of it.
That's it.
It's but it's sometimes that was how
Yep.
things were dealt with.
It sure was.
You've got
Yeah.
your cousin or your uncle that's in that back room
Uh-huh.
that no one goes down that hallway, or only certain many people interact.
That's right.
But yes, and then I do have a lot of relatives. They're curious, but they don't understand. It's hard for anyone to understand. Like, I don't know what it's like to be a single father.
Mm.
I can't even imagine how that is.
I kind of like it, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I should say that out loud, but
Understood.
there's pros and cons to it.
Understood.
I get my time that I want. I get to go ahead and achieve the things that I put my mind to.
Mm-hmm.
And I can put all my energy into it.
Gotcha.
And that matters.
Gotcha.
I've been married before, a lot of negotiating and, not being on the same page really can hinder somebody's growth, obviously.
Sure.
So for me, I find comfort in it because, again, I have children now. I take care of them. I get to raise them the way I see fit. I don't have to, go back and forth with, whether they should be playing a certain sport, rather they should be working out a certain type of way. I just feel like, okay, I get to like really mold my children the way I see fit.
Right.
And live the consequences of it. And I like that,
Nice.
So when they're adults, I can at least have done my job. Like I've given you what I got,
Mm-hmm.
what I had. I spent the time with you. I didn't put people before you guys. And that's also kind of leads me back to frustration with my son George, because, hey man, I'm giving it to you, man. There's so many other things I could be doing with my time, and I'm giving it to you. Let me see something. I need it. You got to want it more than I want it for you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But keep going.
Yeah.
So
So, and sometimes, and not to make this about, demographics or
Mhm.
or ethnicity,
Mhm.
but there's that there is some perception
Let's hear it.
when you see an African American male with their child or children, what have you. We're babysitting. Like, no, I'm parenting.
Oh, it's a babysitting.
Yeah, so like I get, relatives be like,
Interesting.
so,
Look at this.
it's like, so you have your son today. It's like, oh, you babysitting today? I'm like, no, I'm parenting.
No, it's like, now, do you think that's just loose talk, or you think people talk loosely,
I,
or you think it's like they really think you're babysitting?
I think it's just that I think it's I don't know if it's culturally, but it's just like, mothers are nurturers,
Yep,
right?
yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure.
So like, sometimes
Yep.
as dads we don't get
You
that
know what?
nurturing label.
Sometimes I'll say babysitting just to be kind of
Okay.
funny-ish, because I have friends, that's with their kids, and I say, man, they got you, your mama got you babysitting today, and I know I just kind
Right.
of play with it. It's just but so you said you think people are seriously thinking babysitting
I,
rather than just kind of trying to joke around with you a little
I
bit.
think so at times. I think so at times. It's just, but then it gets to the point where just like, well, man, when I see you, I see your son. When I see your son, I see you.
Wow.
So maybe you weren't babysitting.
No, I ain't babysitting, man. That's my boy,
He's too big to babysit. Like, look at him. He's
Right.
taller than I am.
Right.
But yeah, it's funny things like that.
Mm,
Over time, like I said, the interactions, I learned how to deal with the interactions a lot better.
okay.
Um, there've been a handful of times or things of just like, wow, I can't believe you said that, or I can't believe we're kind of engaging in this. Once he was kind of having a meltdown. We're in the supermarket, and the lady behind us was like, "Oh my God, is he gonna bite me?"
Bite.
And I was just like, "Oh my God!" It's like, well, first of all,
Yeah.
we wouldn't let it get to that point, right? Like, there's going to be distance,
Yeah.
but it's I don't know what it
She said that
is.
out loud,
Said it
man.
out loud, right? Said the quiet part out loud, as I said.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely, but I've learned.
Man.
I've had so many people
Mm,
placed in my path, so many great people placed in my
mm,
path that had gone down this road before.
mm.
There's this one couple when when we moved to California. Everyone was like, "You have to meet this couple.
Yeah.
They have
Hmm.
twins.
Hmm.
The son's on the spectrum,
Mm.
the daughter isn't." And we finally met them. And it was crazy how we met. But they told us so many things. It's like, this is what you should do. Biggest thing is advocate. I already knew that I have to advocate for him because he's not going to get services.
Right.
But they had gone through so much. She was a neurologist,
Mm.
and her husband was a
That,
yes.
what is that?
So
What
when
did you say?
if you have surgery, like,
Yeah.
this is a gentleman who comes in and puts you to sleep.
How do you pronounce it again?
He's an anesthesiologist.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So, okay.
And just with meeting them, meeting their circle and how they influenced us to like
Wow.
go to they influenced us to attending meetings at people's homes,
Hmm.
to hosting meetings at our own home.
Wow.
So it got to the point where, like, if people were willing, when they arrived at this military base that we were at, they were put in contact with us. If they're, newly diagnosed, or whatever the case may be, you needed that circle
Hmm. The
that you could,
support group.
absolutely,
Hmm.
absolutely. Because it's, when my son was young, we were at a meeting and at this house, and their son came out who was at the time in his teens, and he just stripped down. I'm like, whoa.
Your son did?
No, their son.
Okay.
But my thought was, could this be something that we're going to have to deal with on the horizon?
Interesting. Interesting.
And it came full circle.
Interesting.
We had to deal with that, and
Hmm.
and we learned how to deal with it. But at first it's like, oh my God, what are we going to do?
Right.
Um, so there's been so many things that we've learned through the years, whether it be through advocacy, learning the various programs that are available. As I mentioned, I'm nerdy. When started school, he had an IEP,
Hmm.
um,
Individual and educational
education
plan.
plan.
Okay.
Mhm. So you go in and, like, as a parent, you want the world,
Yeah, absolutely.
and the school is they're trying to hold on to their world.
Right.
But it got to the point where we were living in California at the time, so I learned, like, California gets X amount of dollars altogether, and then it's handed down to the states and the counties.
Hmm.
I knew how much his school got
Oh, really?
per
And it's
child.
public information? Oh,
Yes.
yeah, that is. Yeah. Per
Mhm.
child. Yeah. Mhm.
So going into this meeting is our very first meeting, but I'd read up on so much stuff. I'd watched videos. You know, I'm practicing in the mirror what I plan to
Good.
say.
Very good. Very
So
good. Very good.
my son doesn't attend the meeting, and so you're talking about someone. You know, you're talking about your child. This is their name. So I took about 6 of my favorite photos of him, blew them up 8 by 10, walked in, placed them on the table.
Oh, wow.
It said, "This is who we're talking about today. It's not a faceless name. This is who we're talking about." We left that meeting. Everything we had asked for, we got.
Amen.
Blew my mind.
Amen.
But
Wow.
so, and that's just one thing. Just the meeting of this family, the individual who I rented a home from, his son was on the spectrum. I had no idea. We arrived to California, and he puts together this booklet of information. He has tons of helpful information, even the advice of, this is where I went astray. Don't make the same mistakes that my
Wow.
wife and I
Amen.
made.
It's a blessing right there.
It is. Good segue. Let's talk about blessings.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Um, Lots of programs were available at the time that my son was diagnosed. So we were referred to this one agency, did an intake, and it has to do with applied behavior analysis.
Okay.
This particular company had like this amazing success rate, if you will. Later on, I'll learn about the success rate. It's where people talking about they were cured from autism. Like, you know, there's certain things that you can do that lessens
Yeah,
some
but there's no
things.
cure to it.
There's
to our
not a
knowledge.
cure. But
Right.
again, that macro understanding that I
see.
had. So I'm super excited.
Mm.
And then they send all the information, and then they send a price list for services.
Yeah.
So it was recommended that my son have 40 hours of service a week. Like,
It's
okay,
a full-time job, right?
full-time job.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say this: 10 hours a week was almost $3,000.
Oh, wow.
His recommended was 40.
So we got 3,000 times 4, right? That's
It was close.
12,000.
You know, they give you a discount because
Yeah,
they
but
bundle it,
still.
right? But it was about
God.
it was about 8 grand.
Whew.
So you're just like I was like on this emotional high because like,
Wow.
So then you get to the price list, you're
Yeah.
like, oh.
Oh.
So like, all right. Then we get orders from Maryland to California.
Wow.
They happen to have the same agency in California. They're opening up a location in Sacramento.
Okay.
Like, okay, well, I guess we're going to live in Sacramento. It was like about a 45-minute drive to the base.
Not bad for California.
No,
California
no.
traffic.
But they didn't know where they were going to open up. So back to the gentleman who had his someone's on the spectrum. I kind of looked at, like, narrowed it down to like one house. I'm like, this is a house for us. Just is.
Like to rent or whatever to kind of get your family situated.
Yeah,
in new location.
And it happened that, like, we were PCSing in, permanent change station, and he was leaving.
Oh, wow.
So that worked out. So we're on the phone one day. He's like, let me ask you something. And we hadn't talked about kids. I hadn't talked about my son, his condition, anything. And he says on the phone call, does your son have autism?
Just out the blue.
Out of the blue. You know how many disabilities he could have mentioned?
Wow.
Autism. Excuse me. I'm like, yes. And
wow.
That kind of, that sparked a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And then it gets better. We get to California, and we have to meet with a bunch of different individuals to see if our son's gonna qualify for this program.
Mm-hmm.
And in California, they have a regional center, and I think if you're under the age of 5, they will cover that cost.
Mm-hmm.
So we met with these group of individuals, and as it turns out, they funded his
Oh, wow.
funded his program. The 40 hours a week is what they funded. So on the day that we are going to go to the office, right?
Yeah.
They're opening up a location in Sacramento.
Back to dignity, that's the call of the day. Where purpose hits different and hope finds its way. Investing in people and helping folks win at life. Turning struggle into power, turning pressure into light. Pull back the curtain, let the real ones speak. Truth in the stories that we drop each week. From the front line hustle to the heart chat. The backstage podcast is where it's at. When the world gets heavy, come and take your seat. Where the mission is strong and the message is deep. Back to dignity. We're on that path, so step in the circle where the truth feels right. Where the grit meets the grace and the dark finds the light. If you're seeking direction, we can help with that. Yeah, the backstage movement keeps you coming back. Pull back the curtain, let the real ones speak.
Pull back the curtain, let the real ones speak. Truth in the stories that we drop each week. From the front line hustle to the heart